Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
And it was wrong. It was a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call.
Bad call.
Some are good for fighting, others for dying.
It's just two movies.
Welcome back to an extra... God damn it. Welcome back to an extra dehydrated episode of It's Just Two Movies. My name is... I'm stepping on the gas a little bit, but that's not far off the mark, honestly. My name is Daniel King. In the studio with me this afternoon...
Oh.
Birdman.
Hey.
Hey, Birdman.
Hey, dry Danny.
I'm very dry. Let me count the ways I went and stood in dusty woods all day on Friday. I just got back from vacation. And then I went out drinking, and then I went out drinking again, and then I went out and got some nice food, and then I went out drinking some more, and then I went to a concert where I was also drinking. And then on the way home, I just had a one Powerade, and I was like, I feel fine.
I feel pretty good.
And today I have shit about 1.5 gallons of water out of my butthole, and I'm ready to make podcast history as the most dehydrated man to ever sit around and talk about a movie.
I'm glad that everything came out all right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Still works. Still like re-sphincterifies, you know?
Everyone loves to hear about this right now.
Tight butthole, gotta keep it tight. What do we do on this podcast though? Normally?
Normally we watch 2 movies, hence the title of the show. One of the movies is usually good. I would say most of the time it's good.
Yeah, most of the time.
And
they're not all home runs.
The other movie, we try to find something that's so bad that it's fun to make fun of.
Yeah.
We try to find a common theme between those two.
Yes.
That's what we do, baby. And we're back on our bullshit.
Yeah, we're doing undead prostitutes. That's the theme.
This was
the theme for today's episode.
This was your pick. And when will this air?
Monday.
Oh. So this is still part of March Madness?
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, this is a descent into...
it could be seen as that, I guess, kind of.
Yeah, I guess so. Mark Ruffalo descends into madness.
100%. So, that tracks.
That works. And we're, of course, referring. I was thinking about Yorgos Lanthimos or whatever his fucking name is. Fucks me up.
That's it.
We are, of course, talking about the newer film, which we don't normally do a lot of newer stuff, but we're talking about Poor Things, which is a 2023 R-rated comedy sci-fi film, 2 hours, 21-minute runtime. It's got a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8 out of 10 on IMDb, and 88% on Metacritic. Box office $12.83 million, directed by, there's no way I'm going to pronounce this right, Yorgos Lanthimos.
I think that's how you say it.
Oh, for real? Yorgos Lanthimos.
We've done a movie from him before.
He's the Yorgos with the most?
He's the Lanthimos with the
nailed
most.
It. If he doesn't have a t-shirt that says that, he's a dumb fuck. It did win Academy Award for Best Actress in a Leading Role. Release date April 8th of 2023. What would you say it's about, though?
Oh shit! You throwing me on that bone?
Oh yeah, I'm throwing you on that bone. The famous expression. You throwing me on that bone? Yes.
I would say it is one woman's quest for self-discovery after receiving a very experimental surgery.
Yeah.
That's without really even spoiling anything.
That is true. Yeah, that is without spoilers.
Yeah. But we are gonna spoil the fuck out of this.
Yeah,
if you haven't
right now.
seen Poor Things, which a lot of you might not have yet. I don't know. It is a pretty new film.
It's pretty niche. The only reason I think I even fucking know what it is just because all the movie shit that I follow on Instagram for this podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it obviously it's well known now. It won some shit. It's on Hulu now, so I think that's another reason we chose to do this. You chose to do it. I just followed suit.
throwing me under the bus. Just like, well, you did, and I just followed along because you're a bad influence. I don't know, Mom. I don't know why he does that.
No, knows? But do you want to get into cast? And I do want to say screenplay was done by Tony McNamara. How do you say that? McNamara? Tony McNamara?
Maybe, that's my best guess.
And this is a novel. This is loosely based on a novel by Alistair Gray.
I thought you were going to say by, what's her name that wrote
Mary Shelley.
Mary Shelley, yeah. Okay, but this stars Emma Stone as Bella Baxter, Mark Ruffalo as Duncan Wedderburn, Willem Dafoe as Dr. Godwin Baxter, Margaret Qualley as Felicity, Rami Youssef as Max McCandles, Christopher Abbott as Alfie Blessington, Catherine Hunter as Madam Swiney. Jared Carmichael plays Harry Astley, and Hannah Shigula, plays Martha von Kurtzen or something like that. And then Susie Bemba plays Toinette. I think that's probably all the ones worth mentioning. It says Olivia Colman's in it, but I don't.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Google just be full of shit sometimes.
I don't think she's in this.
I don't think she is either.
If she's not no. There's no way.
No, there is no way. I would agree with you.
Did you say real quick? Sorry, I'm just trying to find his fucking name.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe. Did you say Christopher Abbott?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Okay. Because I didn't know he was in this until I saw, and I was like, is that Christopher Abbott?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, it is.
He's just a dick.
He is a dick.
Okay, so we're going to spoil this whole fucking movie. It's real weird. If you're into weird shit, maybe give this a pause and go check it out. If you're not into weird shit, if you just know that, like, I'm not into art house film, we're going to cover the whole thing for you in about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Something like that.
It starts out and Emma Stone kills herself.
Yep.
And then, the first, how many, is it 4 acts?
I don't know. It's a few because 4 or 5, maybe. I don't know.
The first one's in black and white.
Well, I guess like the first half, maybe not even half of the film is in black and white. Yeah.
I didn't even think it was that much. It's like when, I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyway, Willem Dafoe, he's like horribly disfigured. And because his father did a bunch of surgery.
Experimented on him,
yeah.
Just to learn stuff.
Right.
What a fucking asshole.
Oh, psycho. It was a man of unconventional mind, my father. So Willem Dafoe, he's this famous surgeon or whatever. And he's given a lecture while he's giving surgery. And there's some guys talking shit on how hideous he is and hard to look at. And fucking Max McCandles is like, he's brilliant though. He's brilliant.
Rami.
And then Defoe's like, hey, why don't you come over to my house? I got something I need help with. So he wants him to document the development of Emma Stone, who seems to have a child's mind. And all Willem Dafoe tells him is, hey, I did an experimental surgery on her, and her mind and her physiological age don't quite match up, but she's progressing very quickly, and I want you to document it.
Yep. Document basically everything that Emma does. I'm gonna refer to the characters by their Christian names.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm just gonna say the actors' names because that's what I wrote down in my notes.
Yeah.
If that's okay with you.
I find that easier to do in post.
So we'll be saying a lot of Emma Stone, Rami. I think it's Rami. Rami Youssef. Yeah. Willem Dafoe and Mark Ruffalo.
Fucking Mark Ruffalo.
So yeah,
what a fun role for Mark Ruffalo.
It is, yeah. So you kind of laid down the basis. Do you want to just
haul it?
You want to just throw down on it, and then we'll talk about it?
I'll throw down. Just gotta drink plenty of water.
Do you need another glass of water?
Oh, maybe a glass of scotch. Okay, so I'm just gonna fucking speed run it, I guess, so we can talk about it. Because I feel like if we talk about it chronologically, we're gonna be in here for an hour and a half.
It'd take too long.
There's a lot of stuff that happens. So,
Emma Stone,
Rami Youssef sticks around and he's documenting Emma Stone's stuff or whatever. An unknown amount of time elapses, and Willem Dafoe's like, "Hey, you should marry her. I can tell you're like kind of into her. I can tell she loves you too." Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't. Oh, I that seems wrong or whatever." Because it is, because she's like mentally like 11.
She's not of mind, I guess.
No, she's like an 8-year-old or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But he's like, when he first sees her, he's like, "What a very pretty retard."
And she smacks him in the face.
Right.
Anyways,
go bloodies his nose.
Yeah.
He's like, "Okay, all right, we'll be betrothed or whatever." Mm-hmm. But you do see these like never mind, I'll come back to that.
I will say, they agree to this, and then but a part of the agreement is that Rami Youssef will live there forever,
right?
With Willem Dafoe and Emma Stone, like it's life.
Yeah,
basically.
I don't know how long Willem Dafoe is going to be around,
right?
Specifically, because he's looking pretty rough. Not on his fucking Google picture though; it's a sharp mustache. He's got a pretty good one there. So anyway, Mark Ruffalo comes along, and he's the lawyer that's drawn up this contract.
Yes.
And he even comments on, like, you can just tell he's a sleazebag.
He is.
Because he's like, "Don't worry about the spelling mistakes. I assure you they fucking hold up in court."
Yeah.
Which I don't think they do, actually. I think the document has to be spelled correctly.
So this was in Victorian times, by the way. So maybe that's part of that.
Maybe the case.
I don't know.
So Emma Stone's, she's like an adolescent or whatever, and she discovers masturbation. Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Oh, fucking, this makes me happy.
This is pretty cool."
And then she's just doing it at the table, and everybody's like freaking out, and the maid's mad, and she's like, "Let me show you how to do it. I'll show you how to." You seem really upset.
That part was fun.
Let me show you. She's like, "She grabbed my hairy bits."
She grabbed my hairy business.
Hairy business.
So, Mark Ruffalo's character, he kind of takes advantage of the situation and takes her away from...
And the fact that she's not mature.
Exactly.
Of sound, mature mind.
He takes her away from the situation, which obviously Rami Youssef is not a fan of.
No.
Willem Dafoe kind of eventually agrees.
To let her go.
Because he kind of has to, in a sense, I think. So they go on this... A big chunk of the film, I would say, is Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo on this journey, him kind of showing her the world.
I think to me, and this may not be right as far as the runtime goes, but it feels to me like the bit of discovering who her character is to when she leaves is a third, and then her on the trip with Mark Ruffalo is another third, and then the last leg is her with Christopher Abbott and all that, and the closing. Maybe
a little bit more than that.
I'm sure it's spread out more than that as far as like her development as a character, you know what I mean? But it kind of feels like a 1, 2, 3. For me anyway, which, fucking whatever. So they go to, where do they go first?
They go to a few different places. Yeah. I mean, we could probably touch on that more once we talk about it a little bit. But it's just a lot of Mark Ruffalo and Emma Stone adventuring. They go on they have a lot of sex. They go on a boat. They go to a few different places. She's getting smarter and smarter. She's reading a lot. She's reading philosophy books.
She's seeing some of the world.
She's seeing the world. Yeah. Again, this is a lot of self-discovery.
Yeah.
So,
they land in France. And they're out of money.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So Emma Stone's character goes and talks to this lady, Madame Swiney, Catherine Hunt, played by Catherine Hunter. I'm going to call her Madame Swiney.
That's pretty sweet.
It's pretty sweet, yeah. And she's like, never mind, I'll come back to it. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, look, here's how prostitution works." And she learns about prostitution, and she decides to be a prostitute. And then she's made enough money to go back home. She hears Willem Dafoe's character is dying. So she goes home, and then they find out that she is actually a woman of a different name married to this fella named Abby Blessington.
Christopher Abbott.
Yeah, played by Christopher Abbott. Abbott takes her back to their fucking castle mansion thing.
Yeah.
And turns out he's just a fucking horrible...
He's a terrible person.
Terrible person.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, fucking, this is why
I committed suicide.
This is why I committed suicide.
Yeah.
But
because of you.
You don't know that as the viewer, but prior in the movie, it's explained that what Willem Dafoe did was he found a pregnant woman who had died and the baby was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
So he transplanted the baby's brain into the mother's head and reanimated her.
Yep.
So that's why she had a child's mind in the first half of the movie, and that's why this is this like self-discovery story about her. So that's why she killed herself, because she didn't want to have a child with this dude.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, because he's fucking awful.
He's terrible. Yeah. Nice house, though.
Yeah, nice crib. Real nice crib. Got to give him that. He's got good taste. She decides eventually she's going to take matters into her own hands and solves the Christopher Abbott problem.
Yes, you do.
And then she lives happily ever after. Now that she's discovered herself and her values, and she's had time to grow and learn. And
yeah, she ends up marrying. Does she marry Rami?
Yeah,
again?
Yeah, she marries Rami. Yeah.
Officially,
he's like, well, we were betrothed, and she's like, we still could be. Like, I would like that, and he's like, oh, I would like that too.
Yeah. It's kind of a happy ever after ending, minus Willem Dafoe, obviously.
Right.
He ends up he's very sick and unfortunately passes away. But,
Yeah, pretty much it. Nothing, I don't think, revolutionary in the way of storytelling, but I do think this is a very unique way to tell a coming-of-age or self-discovery story.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
It is quite unique.
Let's talk about aesthetics.
Aesthetics?
How do you feel about how it looks?
Oh, my gosh. That's one of the biggest things I like about this.
The set pieces are fucking insane.
Yeah, so I think I read that they painted a lot of it's just like a lot of painted set piece, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah. The way this looks is really cool. It feels like I don't know how to explain this. With the camera work, you know what I mean? Like involving the camera work and the pieces, it feels like it's a miniature.
It feels like you're watching it like in a Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think what they're doing, and I don't know this, I didn't like read up on it or whatever. I just like watched it and I was like, weird movie. And then we went on vacation and I saw you and we hung out for the St. Patrick's Day parade where the drinking continued.
We did a little bit of drinking.
A little bit of drinking. And then, what was I going to say?
The like set pieces and stuff.
Oh yeah, they just fucking boy, they look incredible. I think what they're doing with the camera thing is how they do that real narrow view.
Yeah,
and then by the end of the movie, there's no more of that. I think that's supposed to be like her scope of discovery sort of relation, maybe.
Well, and I think that's also the black and white. You see the black and white to start.
Yeah,
and then once she kind of really progresses.
Once she becomes like self-conscious, I guess.
You see the world open up in color.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually really liked how they did that too. The film looks great. I actually kind of liked the fishbowl lens type camera work too.
Yeah.
Some people didn't like that. I actually really liked that.
I thought it was neat.
Yeah.
It was a neat way to look at it. I like all the insane science-y equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the crazy shit. They're like the duck dog and
the animals in this.
Yeah,
they're like
fucking
half duck, half dog.
The big bubbling alchemy machine Godwin plugs himself up to eat a meal, and then he just burps up a weird fucking bubble, and nobody ever says shit about it.
Well, Rami does.
Oh yeah, right. He's like,
what is that?
What's up with that? It's just gas, man. It's just he's got a burp. I guess
his father experimented on him so much. That I wrote it down.
He removed something like a vital organ or
it was like what was it? Can I find it? on this episode of Birdman.
Can Birdman Google it?
Finding a Thing. I guess we
should do a short show called Can Birdman Google It?
Right. At dinner, Willem explains that his father took out his, I'm going to butcher this.
Spell it.
Oxyntic, oxyntic, maybe, and
I guess.
pyloric glands to see if they were needed. And he's like, turns out they are important.
You do need them. Oh, she's like, how come your thumbs look so funny? I also like the way that she's like of inferior mind, and his name's Godwin. She can't get all that out, so she calls him God.
Yeah, that's
and then
funny.
she'd be like, even when she gets a little older, like mentally, she's like, might I have a minute of your time, oh God?
Yeah.
Just like weird, because he is her God. Like, the whole thing they would have died, her and the child or whatever.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I also think it's very interesting that
he did kind of play God there too, right? You know what I mean? Because he found a dead person who he should have left dead.
Right.
Because they didn't want to be alive, and he's like, you know what? What if I put a kid's brain in this thing?
You have a digesting alchemy kit. You can't hook that fetus up to something, brother?
Brother?
Drop a couple sausages and beans in there and just let her cook?
Yeah, the first time you see it, it's not explained. He's just eating dinner or whatever. This is before he really talks with Rami. He's just eating dinner, and he just lets out this big burp, and you're like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, there's just weird, goofy shit in this movie that, like, doesn't... When they go to, like, fucking... It's Rome or something, where they're going. And after she's on the boat with...
They go to Egypt, I know, at one point.
Yeah, she's on the boat with fucking Mark Ruffalo. They've been doing lots of furious jumping. And... that's what she calls banging or working on myself.
Furious jumping.
I'm working on myself. If I text you and I say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm working on myself.
You know what that means.
What I mean is I'm just fucking cranking that hog, baby. Cranking that swiney. Making that swiney whiny. You know what I'm saying?
I hate you.
Fuck. You'd think I've been sitting on that joke for a long time, but that's very off the cuff.
Just came to you?
Just came to me like a vision.
Came to me like a dream.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That is the concert we went to. We went to go see Alkaline Trio at the pageant in St. Louis.
Such
Great
a good
show.
time.
Yeah, good show.
Good time.
I didn't care for the second band.
Yeah.
God Farts or whatever. Drug Church, not God Farts.
God Farts. God Farts didn't play that well.
Yeah, no, that's what he's doing in the movie when he burps that bubble. It's just it's a reverse fart because he doesn't have glands or whatever the fuck.
Oh, shit. All right, I'm just kind of checking my notes to see what all we've covered so far. Yeah, so the Mark Ruffalo and Emma Stone bit, it's pretty long. They go to Lisbon first.
Lisbon.
Yeah, that's the first place they go. And right away, when you first start seeing these set pieces, it's just like, man, that just looks so cool, dude.
It pops.
It does. It pops.
Everything pops.
Is that what the kids are saying?
Especially with those puffy ass shoulders.
You gotta have the puffy shoulders.
Dude, if those shoulders on that dress or whatever aren't fucking 3 feet tall, I don't want them.
If your shoulders don't puff, you ain't done enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. If your shoulders ain't inflating, you're not participating.
The costume, like everything in this, costumes, which I feel like don't get enough credit really. Specifically in this film, they're done really well. Everything looks good.
Oh yeah.
The makeup. So one thing I want to touch on is Willem Dafoe had to spend 6 hours every day for makeup.
Yeah.
Because it's a really interesting look.
It is a really interesting look. It's weird because it still looks like Willem Dafoe, but it's so fucking enhanced.
It's like an enhanced version of him. Yeah, that's insane.
Like when they pull out from it, there's only a couple of shots where you can see his face with the rest of his body, and you can tell that it's disproportionately large. Mm-hmm. But I guess they try to make him fit, like build out a little bigger by wearing coats and shit. But
maybe, yeah,
you can tell it's like it would be horrifying to behold in person.
Yeah, he doesn't go out. When they do go out, it's in a carriage, and he doesn't really let others see him. Kind of been like that, I think, his whole life.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so he spent 4 hours in the morning for makeup, and then after they were finished filming, 2 hours to get everything off. Can you imagine? Just to get everything off, fucking 2 hours.
8-hour day, and he ain't even, hasn't even read a line
But
yet.
he said he didn't mind it. And that's, I love that about him. You know, even if there are things that, I didn't like The Lighthouse very much.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it. I feel like I should give it a rewatch.
I think I should too.
But at the time, man, I was not in the mood for it. I don't even know why I made myself watch it. Oh, speaking of shit to watch, I know we'll talk about it later and what you're watching, but recently saw that Dream Scenario is now available on Max.
Oh, okay, is that an A24?
It is.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice. I think it's on my list. So yeah, they go to Lisbon. Let's see. I like when they kind of cut to them going out on their own, like Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo. It's in color now. Mm-hmm. So I guess, that's not even half. That's not even maybe a third of the film or whatever.
It just feels long because it's a lot of backstory and shit.
They cut to them and they're just immediately banging.
Oh, yeah. Just straight away.
They eat oysters and drink in Lisbon. He says it's siesta. Doesn't he say it's siesta time? Which
they eat and then she's like, "Oh, I want another one." He's like, "No, one's enough.
Yeah,
two's too many. Now it's time for a siesta." She's like, "What's a siesta?" And they're just fucking again.
She leaves the city, or she leaves the hotel by herself, and she kind of explores, and she eats too much, and she finds out that what they were eating it's just too rich. One is enough.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of this film is her finding out shit on her. It's self-discovery, like I said. It's her learning about everything. I like when they're at dinner and they're with a couple that I guess Mark Ruffalo's character knows, and she's acting a fool because at this point she's, I don't know, it kind of feels like maybe what age you think she would be here, like early teens or maybe even earlier than that.
14, 15 maybe?
I would say even earlier than that.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe 12 or 13. Yeah. It's a bit, she's like, but she's so eloquent with her words. Mm-hmm. But the things she says are something a small child would say.
Right.
And I guess that's where you can be educationally smarter or more advanced than other people your age, but that doesn't mean you have the same level of experience.
Yeah.
So there is a bit where she's like, she spits something out at the table and he's like, what the fuck are you doing?
I did not
she's
like that.
Why should I keep it in my mouth if it's revolting? But that's a learned behavior, versus a natural reaction. So
I guess the normal gesture would be to grab a napkin. And just kind of somehow make it look like you're, right? Just I don't like this.
It tastes like shit.
But the whole time they're at dinner, there's a baby crying. Mm-hmm. And finally she's had enough. And she
Excuse me, I have to go punch that baby.
She gets up and she wants to go punch the baby, which she does not do. Mark Ruffalo stops her, but man, that was funny.
Which is weird because then Mark Ruffalo is just a baby for the rest of the movie, pretty much right after this scene.
So Emma Stone's character drives him to madness, essentially, with the way she acts. Just everything about her is driving him insane.
Yeah.
Slowly and steadily.
It's funny, though, because when they start the relationship, he's like, listen, I'm just here for a good time, not a long time. But he makes her insane with her okayness with that. I think she's like, oh yeah, he's expecting her to fall in love with him and all this shit. And none of that happens. Mm-mm. She just bangs him for a while, and then she bangs another dude in France, and she's like, you always used to claim you were such a great lover, and you might actually be right, because I just had sex with another man, and it was over terrible. Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a bit where Emma and Mark they're about to get it on again, but she has markings on her thighs from another man.
Yeah.
Like she did some experimentation with another guy, and it ended up she's like another man tongue licked me or whatever.
Yeah.
So obviously
he's like, he said that my skin would be the softest skin he ever touched.
That's
and
what
you know what? It was.
So at this point, this kind of starts his madness. You know, I think he sees this as her cheating on him or whatever.
Right.
And
yeah.
She's not there and just not on the same page.
No.
He's in this for different reasons than she is, obviously.
Yeah. So in order to kind of contain her, he literally contains her in like a case.
Yeah, he puts her in like a
big suitcase.
Trunk. Yeah.
Yeah, like a trunk. Yeah. And then they get
brings
on
her to
ship.
a ship. Yeah. And the look of the ship, by the way,
a fucking dope looking.
It looks
ship.
cool.
Yeah,
that's another thing where you see it and you're like, it's like a miniature version of a ship that they just kind of like panned in on really close.
It almost looks like a model or a stop motion animation. You know what I mean? It's got a cool look to it
for sure. So he basically kidnaps her and forces her to do this.
Yeah, kid being the operative word, but yes. And while she's on the boat, she meets a couple of friends.
Mm-hmm.
She meets a very nice old lady, played by Hannah Shigula.
Hannah Shigula.
No, Hannah, you know Hannah Shigula?
I know Hannah.
Where you from? You know Hannah Shigula.
Is that her Christian name?
Yes.
Okay.
She plays Martha von Kurt something.
Okay. Yeah, so she meets Hannah and Gerard.
Yeah, Gerard Carmichael. Yeah. And I suppose they both represent different looks at life.
For sure.
The old lady being like way more carefree.
Yeah.
And a romantic, just a romantic at heart. And then you've got Gerard Carmichael, and he is just a fucking cynic.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, this is bad. The world's bad. It's a bad place.
Yeah. For sure, yeah. They chat a little bit about philosophy when they hang out.
Yep. And the old lady's like, "Oh, this is what's worth living for, is to better yourself and all this other stuff." And Gerard's like, "No, it's fucking philosophy's a waste of time. The world's a horrible place." And then they get off the boat in Egypt, and he's like, "You want me to show you what I'm talking about?" And she's like, "Yeah,
what the world is really about."
Yeah, she's like, "Absolutely." And he points down into the slums in Egypt, and she just starts crying. She's like, "Oh my God, look at all those, dead babies and stuff down there laying in the dirt." She's like, "We have to go help them." And he's like, "We could do that, but they'll rob us, rape us, and murder us."
Yeah.
And here's the sad part. If we were down there and they were up here, we'd do the same to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way of the world. It's just the way the world works.
And he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. So in her altruism, she gives all of fucking Mark Ruffalo's money.
His money that he earned to gambling. Yeah,
she gives it to a couple of guys who work on the ship who are staying at that port to give to those homeless people, which I am sure they never see.
No, they did. I don't even know if they were staying at that port. I think they just said that so that she would say, "Oh, here's the money. Would you give that to the poor people?"
Of course.
And they're like, "Of course, ma'am. We
are
to
the
that.
poor people." Yeah. Everybody's the poor people. So it's just right place, right time.
Yeah, they took that shit, of course. Yeah, I read a review that thought that Gerard Carmichael's performance wasn't great. I actually liked it. It did seem a little flat, but it almost worked. Because, like you said, I think it
works for his character. If that is what you wake up and that's your default mode network in your brain every second of every day, every choice or problem that you're ever presented with, that's the attitude you have going into it.
Mm-hmm.
That would be kind of a flat, sort of dead inside guy who would just see a nice sunset and go, whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I agree with that. I think it was a pretty good performance in my my opinion.
The writing is odd.
The writing?
Yeah. Like some of the writing is just odd.
Yeah.
It's like the way things are phrased. Like there's a bit where Mark Ruffalo and Emma Stone are having a conversation laying in bed. This is when they're still in Lisbon. And he's like, "Let us go to bed now."
Well, it's Victorian. You have to understand it's Victorian time.
It is that Victorian, but it doesn't, that bit didn't match the rest of their conversation. Like, it still seemed like an awkward phrase.
That is true, because the more I think about it,
they do
the way Mark Ruffalo talks in this entire film, he like switches. Almost.
It's got to be. I would think it would be deliberate.
I think it's probably deliberate
for it to be that much. But
yeah, he kind of switches between that Victorian time and just like a modern day way of talking.
Yes.
So yeah, I know what you mean there for sure. At this point, they don't have any money, and they're going to be tossed off the ship.
She's going to start hooking.
So we make it to Paris, and it's cold as fuck, but they don't have anywhere to go.
Right.
But yeah, she got to start hooking.
Yeah, she happens upon old Swiney. Old fucking
Swiney.
Earlobe lady Swiney. That's my one note. Old lobe lady Swiney.
That's the one note you wrote down?
That's it. I was like, man, I can't fucking forget about this psycho.
Were those real tattoos? Like, were those tattoos that she had? Like her character? I don't think the actress is fucking tatted from head to toe. Or was that some sort of lace or like?
No, there's supposed to be tattoos in the film.
Okay.
Yeah. Catherine Hunter was covered in tattoos for Poor Things. I guess just to show that she's been wild. She's been on her worldwide adventure. Because she does have a lot of stuff in here, like, so she's got like little European angels. She's got an elephant. She's got palm trees. She's got seashells and shit. So she's seen the world. She likely has traveled and seen the world. And that might be part of what makes her a fucking cynic.
Yeah.
Because she is too. She's just like, this is the way the world goes, and we, struggle with it. And she's like, oh, but because she doesn't mind prostitution. She minds that she can't choose.
Emma Stone's character? Yeah,
Emma Stone's character. And she's talking to Madame Swiney about it, and she's like, you have pretty earlobes. And when they're done with that, Emma Stone just acts like nothing's wrong. She's like, oh, I drew a bit of blood. She's fucking like, what? You psycho? You have yummy looking ear. What?
Stop doing that.
Quit.
What's your obsession with earlobes?
I don't know. Fucking call it Swiney time.
Swiney time.
So she's like, this is the way of the world. You need money. They have money. This is what they want. If you're running a business and this is what you're doing for business, some of them like it when you don't like it. And that's just the way the world is. You can struggle with it, or you can accept it and learn to live with it. So all these people that she runs into have different like characteristic, like every one of them are like, hey, by the way, here's the big lesson from meeting me. Here's your big takeaway, wink.
Yeah.
But it's not, it's weird because like Godwin, what he tries to impart on her is what she learns after he dies. Is that it's okay to just do the thing that you want to do. Like she'd struggled with it for so long, but now all she wants to do is just be home.
And just kind of live and read.
Live and read and be happy.
Yeah. She does the whorehouse thing for a while.
I like the bit when she has that one guy in there and she's like, okay, you tell me a memory, I'll tell you a joke, and then we'll do a sniff test, which may be followed by some lavender oil, and then we'll have sex. And he's like, okay. She's like, okay, you tell me the memory. He's like, I remember one time I skinned my knee and the blood made me smile. And she's like, nice. It's knock knock.
Who's there?
Fromage.
Fromage who?
Cheese to meet you. It fucking
both start cracking
slays that old man. Like it's the funniest thing ever. And then she's like, okay, you smell fine. Let's fuck.
You smell all right. This is just one note that I had going back to the whorehouse. The owner, she tells him basically how it has to be, and they must experience everything to know the world. And that's kind of one thing that kind of stuck out.
The beautiful and the ugly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like how once they arrive in Paris, Mark Ruffalo realizes that Emma Stone's character has had money this whole time, and she like brings it out. Yeah. He just takes all the money from her, and then you think he leaves, but
he doesn't. He just stays there.
Stays there, and I think he burns all the money, and he's like
pining after her.
He's just mad.
Screaming outside of her window and shit. Full blown breakdown.
He's just mad at this point. Pretty funny. I mean, not funny, but the way they present it. Yeah, for sure.
It is a comedy, but it's definitely played for laughs.
It's definitely a dark comedy for sure.
She gets news that Godwin's dying.
Yeah.
Goes home, kind of says her goodbyes.
He has a tumor, and I think it's spread, and Rami tries to operate on it, but it's no good.
Because Godwin's awake and he's just looking at it. And he's like,
never mind.
Sew me up. Thanks for trying. Appreciate you. So she comes back and she like kind of says her goodbyes to him, and they have a nice send off, I think, the two of them. And then fucking old boy shows up with Mark Ruffalo. Mark goes
to the wedding.
Yeah, if I can't have you, neither can, I don't know. You have to be a prisoner somewhere because you fucking made me feel small.
Yeah.
That's kind of, pretty much. Let's see here.
Do you think that her going, because it kind of confused me at first. Do you think that her going with Christopher Abbott is just another way of her saying I need to experience everything?
Maybe? I guess, yeah. Well, it's like it's her learning her origin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like another way to kind of find out who you are. Like she's discovered who she is currently, but she doesn't know who she was previously. And you kind of have to know both of those things to feel comfortable with the self, you know?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I think it's really weird that like nobody explained that to Christopher Abbott, that like, hey, this is actually your daughter. Like
up here.
Up
the
top.
Old brain.
The old brain.
Noggin.
Yes, noggin indeed.
Indeed. So she returns to London, and he tells her, Willem Dafoe tells her everything at this point.
Yep.
Like, hey, you have the brain of your child.
Yeah.
Shows her all the work. Or wait, I guess I'm kind of going back because we were at the Christopher Abbott thing. But
this is when he spills the beans. It's just for us to talk about the rest of the movie, it made sense to say it.
I do like when she goes to the bridge where she jumped. I don't know. It's just like going to that scene and like, what was where was I in my?
She wouldn't have known. Like that's just a best guess, but it happens to be right.
It happens to be. Yeah, right.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a cool coincidence or whatever. Puffy shoulders, of course.
Gotta have them.
Yep. If they ain't puffed, you ain't done enough. It's fucking stupid. So she goes and lives with Christopher Abbott, and he is a fucking homicidal maniac who is literally going to keep her as a prisoner.
He wants to remove her lady bits as well.
Yeah.
Because he's like, that's the problem.
Yep.
Here.
It's that good puss.
And I think at this point she is...
It's the puss that literally drove a man insane.
At this point she's over that part of her... I guess, that sexualization.
The discovery part of it, certainly.
Yeah.
But
well, just she's had so much of that, and it's become kind of like just I'm over this.
Just another thing.
Yeah, this is
still not into it though.
Mm-hmm.
Not into having the old stuff scooped out.
The old stuff.
The old yogurt basket. I don't know what you call it.
Her hairy business.
I read the ingredients of Squirt. It's not pee. It's not in there. Squirt soda.
Stop. You're so stupid.
So anyway, she devises a ad hoc kind of plan to get away from this fucking psycho. And what exactly does she do to him? I remember the outcome, but I can't remember what.
He pulls a gun on her. She throws a drink in his face.
Yeah.
Goes to grab the gun, and it goes off, and it fires into his foot.
Oh, yeah.
And that kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Incapacitates.
Thank you. Incapacitates him.
The drink that she threw in his face.
Oh yeah, it's
fucking chloroform.
Yeah, mixed with something.
Yeah,
like an alcohol, I think is what he said. By the way, a lot of chloroform in this.
Well, just back in the day, if you wanted somebody knocked out but not dead, your options are pretty fucking limited.
I think it happens like 4 or 5 times in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of chloroform going around. She was raised in a house of learned doctors.
Yeah, he is taken out at this point. She takes him to Rami, who's going to work on him, but they're going to make him a little different.
Yeah.
They put a fucking goat's brain in him, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just a goat brain in him. That's some good stuff. And then they fucking live happily ever after in the garden with their new zombie daughter. Played by Margaret Qualley. Yeah, I forget when she's about halfway through her adventure. Rami Youssef and Willem Dafoe are like, look, I'm a scientist. We got to focus. We need another corpse.
Yeah,
so
they try to do it again.
They try to do it again and are successful with Margaret Qualley.
Somewhat. She's not as special, I don't think. As
I don't think so.
Emma Stone's character.
Lightning in a bottle. You know, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Yeah, and I mean, that's pretty much the film. They have their goat ex-husband and she's got her polyamorous relationship of her dreams with her buddy she used to hook with.
Mm-hmm.
And Rami Youssef. I was going to say the other guy that looks like that little dog. Oh. Malek. Rami Malek. Yeah. No, Rami Youssef.
I assume I said Rami. I hope that's right. If not, you can fucking bitch at us and tell us that we're stupid.
Suck a dick.
And we
like
don't
Subway.
know how to say names.
Yeah.
Like Von Terre Subway.
Like Von Terre Subway. Can't make a sandwich worth their life, but
this, ultimately, I think I did like this. There's some things that I don't like. It feels a little too long.
It feels long as a motherfucker.
A little, I don't know, man.
It's that first leg for me. I actually like the black and white bit.
Yeah.
But there's so much of that building of the world and of the characters during that black and white bit. It just makes it feel longer.
Yeah.
Why are all of the things that are in black and white while all of the things that are in color are in color? That bit doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I would understand if when Willem Dafoe's like giving his fucking symposium and performing surgery in front of all those people, I would think that should be in color. Because she's not there to observe it. So if it has anything to do with her, she's not there for that.
That's true. Yeah. I didn't really think about it like that. I think from what I saw, got them frog throats. Damn.
Continue. Better than out of my ass.
Right. You got that bubble? Got that Willem D bubble?
Got that bubble butt. I have like no ass. I have like fat middle-aged guy ass, no ass.
The color change, I think, maybe was supposed to represent her adventure out into the world.
Being out of that safe space, maybe black and white's supposed to be like the safe space or whatever.
Right. I think so, but I also kind of agree with what you said. Like, if there are scenes where she's not involved, why aren't those in color? Yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah, she's not there to observe it, so how would it?
For me, this really started to drag on a little bit at like the Christopher Abbott stuff. I was like, okay.
I was wondering,
what are we doing here?
When that came in, I was like, how long is this going to take?
Yeah.
Turns out not long.
It's not long, but at that point, I'm just like, all right. Personal opinion, I think this could have been a 2-hour film. Yeah,
it's a little long in the tooth for me.
A little too long for me.
That being said, the contents of the movie, I really, really like it. I would say I would give it 9 puffy shoulder thumbs. But I think I can't go higher than 8.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I really do enjoy it, but it's kind of a slog.
It's a little bit of a slog. Here's my biggest issue, I think. I wanted to see exploration of other themes.
Other than just fucking her having human relationships?
Yeah. And her having a lot of sex. It's like they she seems so curious and just so curious about the world, but I feel like everything ultimately led back to sex and her experience with that. Yeah. I don't know. I guess because they touch a little bit on philosophy and
not much else.
And not much else. I wanted to see something else, another theme maybe. I don't know. Like, I get that it's a story about self-discovery.
I do.
But could they tie in something else with that? You know what I mean?
There is one thing that I liked a lot about that, the way that it comes full circle, is when she's very young, she's stabbing that guy in the face, that like dead corpse or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, they're performing surgery. She's like, Bella cut too? And they're like, oh, just dead ones for Bella. And she goes over and starts stabbing this dude in the face. She's like, squish, squish, squish. And then later they take her outside and Rami Youssef gets a toad. And he's like, check out this toad.
Yeah.
She's like, kill it.
Kill it. Yeah, immediately. What? Yeah.
And he smashes she smashes his hands together and squishes it and then looks and is like, oh. So she has this propensity and this curiosity about death. And then at the end of the movie, she won't even kill this dude that was fucking horrible to her.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
She still preserves him in part.
Yeah. What is that? Is that just her learning, or does that bother you? Did that bother you a little bit, or
no? It doesn't. I think it is her. I think it is her wrestling with and accepting the way the world is. Mm-hmm. Because Madame Swiney's like, oh, you got to have the beautiful things and the ugly things, and she got a taste of the ugly stuff while in France.
Yeah.
But when she gets home and goes with this fella, this dude is balls to the wall, fucking ugly. But she doesn't want to subject herself to the same level of cruelness like the other guy says when they're in Egypt. He's like, you know, if the shoe were on the other foot, Gerard.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to subject herself to that. So she finds
a way,
a medium ground for
that makes sense. Yeah. I don't know, man. Ultimately, I think I wish maybe there was, I don't know, some sort of way that she could offer the world
something other than a piece of ass.
Yeah, I guess that I wanted that maybe a little bit more.
You wanted a piece of that ass?
No, and here's the thing. I don't even think we've said this so far. The performances in this are just amazing.
They're nobody's half mass for me.
It's so good.
Terrific, dare I say.
Yeah. So,
I could see why Emma Stone won a fucking whatever award I said.
Yeah.
It's just Hollywood people jerking each other off. But
right, yeah.
It's an impressive performance. And
it really is.
She really
and for
takes
her
it to heart.
For her to take the risk of or I don't even know if I should say risk, take the, I don't know, just her to say, you know what, I'm going to be as nude as I need to be in this. I'm going to follow your orders. This is your project, you're the director.
Yeah.
Just going all in, I guess. I think that's fucking
certainly takes balls.
Yeah.
Certainly takes hairy business.
Hairy business. Yeah.
Takes hairy business and she's got it in spades.
Yeah. But that being said, I don't know. It's hard for me to give this. It's hard for me. Like, I probably would say 7.5.
7.5 puffy thumbs.
7. Are we doing puffy thumbs?
I think that's fair. I mean, I got 8.5 maybe for me. I mean, like, I'd like to rate it higher because I really like everything about it, but I was a little exhausted with it by the time it was over.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't want to just still barely be holding on.
Right.
I want to still be enraptured.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I mean, that for what it's worth. I tell you what, if you just like the fine arts, I think you'll like it. It's a clever film.
Mm-hmm.
It does a lot of interesting things that you don't see done with cameras.
Yeah, it's a neat idea.
It's a neat idea. It looks neat.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, be settled in for a long one.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of fucking.
And a whole lot. It's horny AF.
Yeah. Speaking of horny AF, we're going to go watch Frankenhooker. In maybe the best paired episode that we might have ever come up with. But we'll be back in a few minutes. Here's a word from our sponsors and a little heavy metal theme.
We're going to get up in it, boy.
Maybe like 3 a.m.
Could use a little something else, maybe something kind of sweet.
Oh, fuck.
I can't cut this, so we got like it's a one and done situation. Ooh. I'm gonna just whip out my phone here and go to 3amsweets.com.
Oh, God.
But then the wind blew in. I entered a code. Cum joke. Ooh, 25% off. This is a real ad. Please send some business to 3amsweets.com. Hell yeah. Ooh. That's it. Welcome back to another episode of a hot, steamy fucking podcast episode. We're back. We just watched Frankenhooker. And let me tell you, boy, it was sweaty on the streets of New York. Fuck
Yeah, it was.
I almost fucking... It was really hard to find that. The name of that song, composed by Joe Renzetti, is Lookin' for Hookers. That's the name of that one.
That's perfect.
Oh, God. Yeah, let's talk about Frankenhooker here. Okay.
That's perfect. I like that title.
I'm glad that's the one they brought back at the end of the movie to like roll the credits on.
Mm-hmm.
Just a big sexy hook.
Roll them credits. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Frankenhooker is an R-rated 1990 horror comedy, 1 hour, 25-minute runtime. It's got a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb, 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, 3.4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Box office, $205,000. Release date, June 1st.
$205,000 for the box office?
$205,000 US. Budget, $2.5 million.
They lost a lot of money.
Oh, that did lose a lot of money.
Oh, my.
The stars Patty Mullen, James Lorenz, Joseph Gonzalez, Jennifer Delora, Louise Lasser, Charlotte Kemp, Shirley Stoller, Leah Chang, Paul Felix Montez, Heather Hunter, Vicky Darnell, C.K. Stiefel, Beverly Bonner, and John Zachary.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, and David Lippman plays the weird horny guy who's like, oh, yes, terrific. That fucking guy. That's good stuff.
Fucking what?
Yeah, there's a lot of rando characters in here. You got Jeffrey and Elizabeth and Zorro and I guess Jennifer Delora is Angel. I don't remember the name of the main hooker.
Was it Dolores?
Man, maybe.
C.K. Stiefel or whatever? Easy, brother.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. That's not her.
Wish I had a lightning sound effect on the board.
Anyways.
Okay, so what would you say this is about, Bourbon?
Oh, shit.
The other movie, we just talked about it.
Yeah, it's kind of basically about it's like the first movie we just did.
Instead of a baby, it's just a bunch of hookers.
A woman is badly injured in a freak lawnmower accident.
Yes.
So her partner puts her back together using the body parts of hookers.
That he killed with super crack.
I
feel like that's an important part we probably shouldn't let out. So you know that what you're getting into here. Yes, as you might expect, it's a Frankenstein scenario.
Okay, I'm just going to say this right now. This is not a bad movie. It's also not a good movie, but this is a parody.
Yeah. Of Dracula, right? It was inspired by Dracula.
No. The first movie we watched was.
And this one
Poor
as well.
Things.
It was like what I was reading.
Well,
They were
yeah,
heavily
I mean-
influenced by the Bram Stoker's
Yeah.
Dracula.
Dracula.
I'm just kidding. This is based off dick and fart jokes and be like, oh, boob, yeah. Also, you said while we were watching this, you're like, between this and Poor Things, I think we filled our tit quota for the year. And I have to agree. Yeah, it's unfortunate to blow it all on one episode, pun intended.
A lot of boobies in this.
Yeah.
Rated R, as you said. I think I read that it kind of had some trouble. Had trouble getting the R rating. I don't know if that means
As opposed to an NC-17.
right.
Yeah.
At the time, you have to understand, it's a lot of boobies.
It is a lot of boobies.
For 1990.
It's a lot of boobies for 1990. Because you know who else was fucking about in 1990? South Park, probably. Ruining cinema for everybody. Because they had to say bad words on TV.
Well, South Park was much later in the 90s.
Was it?
I
oh, yeah.
believe
No,
so.
that's right. Yeah. Definitely was.
But
96, 97 maybe?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
What a film.
Might have been 2000s. Fuck, I don't know.
Wait a minute.
I gotta find out real quick.
What, South Park?
Yeah, when did
it
South
was late
Park
90s
start?
for sure. 100. You want to bet? You want to bet, motherfucker?
No, because I think you're probably right. August 1997. Okay, August 13th.
This says, I don't know if this is true. This is just on the trivia on IMDb. It says the film took 12 years to make.
That seems insane.
There's no way.
Like from inception, I could buy that. If this is like something you scribbled on a bar napkin and it just kept growing for 10 years and then you made a movie.
No, maybe it's just, yeah, man, I don't know. What the fuck? Because immediately when I thought this took 12 years to make, I'm like, so they filmed it in the late 70s?
Right, yeah. I don't
Sorry,
think
not late 70s, late, like late 80s, sorry, or whatever, mid to late 80s.
I wonder what happened about that.
Right. Yeah, I'm not good at math. The film, let's see, they eventually cut an R-rated film to market in addition to the unrated, and one of the trims needed to secure the R rating was to limit the exploding prostitutes. Okay, let's before we get too far into this.
Yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Can you just give me a quick rundown on this movie?
Yeah,
to spoil it for everybody.
Jeffrey's a weird, creepy inventor, and he loves his girlfriend very much, and she loves pretzels very much. And Jeffrey, she's not very bright. Jeffrey's like a genius, but has just unorthodox mannerisms. He went to medical school, was kicked out of 3 of them, and he's invented a self-driving remote control style lawnmower. And his girlfriend is giving it to her father for his birthday, and she runs herself over with it. And then she was turned into a humid salad being tossed everywhere, as described on the news, while I was eating a salad. Which did happen. They mentioned salad like 4 times
Several times
while I was eating
while
a
you
salad.
were eating salad.
It
That was very
weird,
strange.
yeah.
Very strange.
Regular salad and egg salad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's dead. He can't get over it. He's like fucking going insane over it. He knows how to reanimate her, but he needs body parts. And boy, he's lucky because there's a storm coming through, and it's just what he needs to have the power and the watts and the volts. It's like I love listening to people with no concept of it just ramble on about it like it's anything.
So I want to. He kept her head in like a. I guess he kept it
like in
quote
a goo.
unquote preserved in a goo in a freezer.
Yeah, in a Gibson freezer. Sharp looking appliance, I gotta say. If you have a 1950s Gibson freezer, bully for you. Nice work.
Good job.
So yeah, he eventually is like, oh man, I gotta get a bunch of hookers. So he gets a bunch of hookers and he measures them all, and he's like, I don't know how I'm not gonna kill them though. And he sees them all smoking crack, so he gets some crack and smokes some of it. And he's like, I'm going to make super crack because I'm a genius.
And he does.
And he does. And it'll just kill the hookers. They'll smoke it voluntarily, but they'll have a nice, peaceful way out. And it makes them explode.
Yep.
So this room full of hookers he just measured explodes. He stuffs them all into trash bags. And also the pimp is there and quite threatening. But he's knocked unconscious during one of the explosions. He's the fucking biggest man that's ever been on a TV in the 90s. He's the biggest fucking dude I've ever seen.
He's huge.
Like, he's enormous in comparison to, like, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of the similar era. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Mountain of a fellow, this guy. But anyway, so he gets all the body parts back to his house, and he reconstructs them, and he recreates his girlfriend, and she's like, want a date? Got any? Looking for some action?
She's
Got
still
any
a
money?
prostitute.
Yeah, she's still a prostitute, not his girlfriend. So she goes on a hookering rampage and just shoving people out of the way. And she kills 3 men with electricity intercourse.
Right.
Kinda, I guess, because it doesn't matter what kind either. That one guy's like fucking going down on her, and he fucking. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Pretty good.
Yeah.
You got any more?
What?
Any, like electricity sound effects? It's not bad.
I mean, that's more of
the
the
spaceship.
Yeah, the spaceship. Oh man,
Nice.
should have did voice acting.
Can you do the engine stalling in a 2002 Acura Integra?
No, I can't.
Fucking not bad for a guess, dude. Not fucking bad.
I thought you were gonna say like your truck or something. Can you do the engine stalling in my truck? Just specifically.
Yeah. So she's on a rampage, all right? She kills a couple of guys, and Jeffrey, he comes and gets her, and he's
back,
like, oh, come on, you. Oh, what are you doing? And he gets her in the car, and he drives off, but the pimp has seen this amalgamation of different hookers' body part pieces on one woman.
How does he? Yeah, he brings her back to his lab. How does he get her back to being his? Like she knows it's or Elizabeth.
Her head falls off or whatever, and he fucking puts metal bolts in her neck and the fucking staples or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead, because it was just stitched on.
Oh right.
So he like bolts that shit on, and he uses just fucking regular 120, just an extension cord. He plugs it in, and then it like kind of counts down with his body. Does that weird like squatting thing? You know what I'm talking about? It was weird. Then he unplugs it, and it's all of a sudden it's Elizabeth again. Not
that's
Frankenhooker.
right. Yeah.
You're not a hooker. You're not a hooker.
You're not a hooker, babe. And then
You hear me, Elizabeth?
and then fucking Razorhead shows up. What was his name? Zorro.
Razorhead.
I don't know.
It's pretty solid.
Just
though.
beefcake. He shows up and he fucking cuts off dude's head. He cuts off Jeffrey's head.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck. Didn't think that was gonna happen.
No, me neither. I thought Jeffrey was going to survive.
Well, he does kind of. So what happens is Elizabeth's like, oh, I got all Jeffrey's notes. I got this. I'm gonna bring him back. But here's the deal: estrogen, right?
Estrogen, baby. I got an estrogen blood formula at the house.
Yeah.
But it's only estrogen. I can only do
That's the only thing that'll work. So
Yeah.
she has to bring Jeffrey back. It's his head, but then the rest of Jeffrey is a woman's
It's
body.
just other hookers' bodies.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And then is that it? Or
No, you missed one thing between Jeffrey dying and being brought back is when all of the body parts crawl out of the freezer and they've like amalgamated themselves into just a big fleshy mass. And they drag that guy in the cooler.
that was fucking awesome.
I'm sorry, Jeffrey. I couldn't even use Zorro's body because it's an estrogen blood formula.
That was pretty sick. I like that part.
A lot of fun, man, this thing.
Yeah.
Am I going to say this is a masterpiece of cinema?
No. It's maybe.
You never know you never know what I'll say.
I'm going to say we'll get to rating it in a bit, but I am going to rate it pretty high. I'm just going to let you know that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in on this. I'm fucking picking up a copy of this.
Here's a bit of trivia. Huevos Grandes?
Big balls.
Grandies. It literally means big eggs.
Yeah.
Grandes? How do you say that? Grandes?
Grandes? Yeah. Huevos grandes.
Huevos grandes?
Sí, muy bien.
Is that true? Oh, the slang meaning, you were right, it would mean big balls.
Yeah. So let's see, huevos. You got huevos?
Yeah. Okay, we got another bit of trivia here. The purple nipple reveal during her initial strip down originally included purple pubic hair as well. They say, we kept dyeing the body double's pubic hair to get the right color purple, but it took out. Oh, see, but I took it out, he says.
Ah.
Damn. Man, this was fun.
You were done with that purple bush? You wish you would have seen that? That's Trojan team spirit right there.
No purple bush. What else can we talk about with? I mean, this was just.
It's not one to watch with your kids, probably, unless your kids are like, I don't know, old enough to look at the fucking 30 pairs of tits or whatever.
Lots of boobs in this.
Yeah, a lot of screen time.
Yeah,
a lot of screen time, and I'm not talking about when it's time to put the iPad away, bud.
Says the director gave out the fake breasts as parting gifts at the end of the film's production. Remember all those fake boobs?
Yeah, there's a ton of them.
This is fucking goofy, dude.
It's goofy as shit.
I dig it.
I gotta say this. Although Poor Things, way more substance. Obviously, it's an art piece.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this isn't art. I think that it certainly is.
It is.
It's a different style.
Yeah, very.
One
different.
of them is street art, and the other one is like Rembrandt kind of shit. You know what I mean? More methodical, I think. But God damn it, this is way better paced.
Oh my God!
100%.
It's just breeze.
This is
it's so much
entertaining the whole way through.
Mm-hmm. It for sure is. That's the perfect word for it. If you were just to say one word, entertaining. That's what this is.
Yeah,
it really is. It's
I think
funny.
so. It's just silly as shit.
Silly. Yeah. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Apparently this director does a lot of films like this, so I'll have to keep that on our radar.
Oh yeah? Like
Frank
Mommy or
Frank Henenlotter is his name.
Like what else has he got? What's some other stuff in his gallery?
Let me see if I can pull that up. Frankie boy. He's got a movie called Brain Damage, Basket Case 1 and 2.
Oh, a sequel.
A sequel. You know how we like a sequel here. It's just 2 movies.
Yeah, we could watch Basket Taste 2.
It's just 2 boobies, but it's more than that.
It's back. So I did decide to have a very potent cocktail.
A very strong cockatiel. Yeah. Oh shit, there's a Basket Case 3. 1, 2, and 3?
The trilogy.
Damn, looks like we need to watch 3.
The Holy Trinity.
The Holy Trinity.
We'll work our way backwards.
It's on Freevee.
So we're going to do, one day I'm just going to go through, I'm going to look at every movie that we watched out of order, and I'm just going to pick either the trilogy or the... maybe go back and do the Ridge.
Dude, we're getting into this guy's work for sure.
Yeah?
I'm excited.
What else you see in there?
Just the Basket Case movies look fun.
Yeah?
Very fun.
Okay. I watched a movie called Uncle Peckerhead that was an unreasonably good time.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
I'm sure we talked about it a couple episodes
Not
ago.
on here.
Oh, we didn't?
Just like... Or
casual conversation.
I think so. Unless, did you talk about it on the show? Or
I don't know.
Do you want to save
it's
that
worth
for?
a mention. It's already out there now. Check that out if you can.
I didn't know if you wanted to save that for what you're watching.
Maybe I'll bring it back.
Because we're not on that yet.
No,
Andy.
no, we're not. We're still talking about
Frankenhooker.
Frankenhooker,
which is awesome. Just the title itself, I mean, is fantastic.
It is really good. And I like the way there's a bit like they're playing it for laughs, or that it's like a, what's it called? Motor Mouth, that late night TV show he's watching.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got that dude with the fucking horrible teeth smoking a cigarette. And he's like, I suppose you think that hookers need a safe work environment. And she's like, yeah, just legalize prostitution and the government can take care of condoms, and then it's just another business model like anything else. And, it would be safer for these citizens and XYZ and all this other stuff. She's making a lot of good arguments. And they play some footage of like a prostitute being abused or whatever. So that's in there.
That is a parody of a show called The Morton Downey Jr. Show.
Aha, okay.
From 1987 to 1989.
Short-lived.
A shock jock talk show. Yeah, that's what they're making fun of there. The more you know.
That's good. Yeah, the more you know. But he's like, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. You're just saying like, no, those are valid. Yeah.
Yeah. And even Jeffrey's like, she's right, you know.
Right. Right. Let's see here. What else about this I fucking really care for? All right. I like the look. When he gets her all together, I like the look.
It looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool look.
I'm sure it's a lot of just like body paint. And I think that's all it is, like body paint.
Gotta be.
Yeah. There's a bit where after he gives all the prostitutes super crack, they explode.
Boy, they are loving it right up until they're not.
And I was wondering how they were going to do the exploding prostitute bit.
And it is just swap the frame out with a mannequin in the same pose and blow it up.
Yep, that's it. And it was fucking awesome. I loved it.
Yeah. I wonder where the $2.5 million went.
Man.
Because I got to say, though, I got to say, the fucking busts of like characters that are in the movie, like when it's their face and then when it's not their face, pretty fucking well done, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so we have some contradictory statements here.
Okay, what do you got?
This says, in the trivia, it says it cost $1 million. Or 1.5 million, and then in the fucking
in the Goog, I would trust what are you on IMDb?
No, on IMDb it also says 2.5 million. So can you give that a quick Goog to see? Well, I mean, I guess if
it seems like we're missing about $1 million here. I'm no scientist, but
I'm no scientist. It says that it is his most expensive film at the time. There were still some budgetary issues. Ooh, I guess the pyrotechnics. The pyrotechnics took up a lot of the and during the exploding hooker scene. Yeah,
I'd have done that for like $80.
No, you would.
I would have.
No, at least $5,000. Come on, we got to make a little bit of money, Dan.
Fucking whatever, man.
We got to fund the show.
$5,000 and some crack, probably.
Did you find it?
Not that super crack. I got conflicting information. I checked like 8 spots. Most of them said 2.5, but still 2 of them said 1.5. So
that's weird. He ended up calling in a favor to do some unlicensed pyrotechnics for the shoot for the hookers blowing up.
Yeah,
that's funny, man. Wow, this is a wild thing that exists.
Yes, it is.
And I'm all for it.
It is. Man, how's the comedy work for you?
I mean, it works.
It's fucking right in the pocket for me.
I think for the time, we laughed quite a bit.
I had a blast with it.
Yeah. I think all this works.
Yeah.
I really do.
I don't know how much more I can say about it that isn't just like kind of redundant praise.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it quite a bit. How many severed hooker thumbs?
Severed hooker thumbs?
Oh, there is one more thing I want to say about it.
Let's do it.
The cast of all the girls in it, in that scene when they're all, they all sell their own individual attitudes so well, and even though they don't all have a lot of lines, the ones that do, I'm like, that's that one. Okay, yep. Like I feel like it's a cohesive character, even though they only have a little bit of screen time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I just thought that was notably good. Like if him like getting measurements off those girls wasn't as well done as it would have affected the entire film.
Yeah.
Pretty good. They just seemed like they were having a good time, and Quentin Tarantino would have been very jealous.
Well, when you're smoking super crack, how could you not have a good time?
Right up until you explode.
Exactly.
Then you have a real bad time.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I liked Elizabeth's facial expressions like, when she was,
Franken lady.
Yeah. of the night. Boom.
Yeah.
Got him. That was pretty good. I like that quite a bit.
The facial expressions make it a little more, they keep
silly.
it goofy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, got to keep it just a little bit goofy. I like the way it still had the big platform shoes. Like Frankenstein. Frankenstein's monster. Excuse me. Frankenstein's my father's name. Call me Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein's monster. Elizabeth doesn't become Frankenhooker until 56 minutes into the movie.
Yeah. There was a point where I was like, I'm ready for some Franken hijinks here, and so far it's just a dude who's really bad with hookers and life choices.
Yeah, man. Fuck. This is good stuff. Let's rate it.
Yeah.
So if you had just been in a room with 10 to 12 hookers.
Yes.
And they were smoking super crack. And then the super crack made them explode.
Okay.
And their limbs went everywhere.
Okay.
Those limbs are now your digits, and you have 10 of them.
Just random limbs?
Just random limbs.
Okay.
One might even just be a shoe with nothing in it.
Okay.
You know?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
How many of those?
I think, okay, I shouldn't. I'm going to rate it two ways, and then I'm going to meet in the middle for a final. As just a movie to, watch by yourself, for me, 8.5 on, rewatchability. However, with the caveat that you just put it on in a room where people are hanging out, it's a 10. So that's going to give me a 9.25.
Oh, 9.25. Very specific.
9.25, yeah. Yeah, I got to meet in the middle there somewhere, and I think that's a happy medium. It's kind of like once you've seen it, I don't know.
It might lose a little bit of its...
I could probably watch it again in a couple of weeks and it'd be all right.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to improve.
Right.
But...
Once you've seen it, that's
at just if you're having some people over at your house or whatever, having a game night, put it on in the background. It's...
yeah, I agree. I'm going to go 9.
Oh, 9? Yeah. Okay.
This was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. But like you said, rewatchability, maybe not there because the initial viewing is that's the fucking that's the cream, baby.
When those that monster, the ripoff of The Thing with the mouth upside down come out of that, it's like, shut up, dude. That's just fucking hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, man. Fun. Super, super fun.
Just silly as fuck. Well, there you have it. We rated it. What would I do if I was going to change it? Nothing.
I wouldn't change a thing.
I like it the way it is. You could maybe cut 2.5, 3 minutes off of it just for the sake of we all have shit to do. But
yeah, you probably could. It was... What was the runtime on that? It was under hour 30, correct?
I think so, yeah.
It was an hour 25.
Oh.
You probably could have got away with an hour 20.
Yeah,
cut a few minutes out of there, but
just
other than that,
minor stuff, but still pretty brisk, pretty breezy.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff, I think.
Yeah.
So,
hey, what you watching?
What you watching?
On to our next segment.
What watching?
Watching. Oh, shit. Is it me?
It's you if you want it to be.
I don't have a lot, but...
I've got so much, I just can't remember any of it.
Nice. You should probably work on writing that down.
Well, I should probably do a lot of things. Look, I'm working on myself. Okay?
Well, he's working on himself, ladies and gentlemen. Give him some time.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Excuse me. I watched Talk to Me. Because you let me borrow it.
You did, yeah. How'd you like?
I liked it a lot.
Talk to Me.
Yeah. It was a really good horror film that you actually covered on the podcast.
Yeah. Did you listen to that episode ever? Or are you
don't.
I know sometimes you actively avoid them when you're like, I haven't seen that yet.
I want to. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I know I want to watch that, so I'm not going to listen to that.
You want to watch them fresh.
Exactly. Really like that movie. Horror is usually not my genre, as you know, but if it's done well and taken serious, like
outside the box,
it can work for sure. I thought it was great. I really liked it.
Nice.
The director, Danny, what is his name? Oh, it was Philippou. Philippou. I believe it's brothers. I think. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they are, I think.
Nice. Man, did they do something else before this? Or do you know?
I think it's like their big debut.
Is that like
thing,
okay?
That's Australian film. I know that.
Oh yeah. That was something I'm not gonna lie.
But they immediately signed on for a second one, so there will be a sequel to that. And I don't know if it's gonna be like. I don't know if it's gonna be like time passes slowly while she's in the hand, or if it's just gonna be where's the other one?
Yeah. The other hand?
Yeah.
Or I didn't really ever think of, I don't know. I hate that it's called Talk to Me though. Like talk number 2 me. Don't like that.
Dude. They should do it in the 80s and they could open it up with the hit song from the outfield, Talk to Me.
I think I read that one idea was exploring the first character that we see. What the fuck was his name? Cole or whatever.
Duckett.
Yeah, Cole and Duckett.
I guess Cole's the brother that lived. Duckett's the brother that died.
Exploring their interactions with the hand and how they came to be in possession of it. But we'll see. If you haven't checked out Talk to Me, fantastic horror thriller. It is only on Prime to rent for $5. I think that's worth it. Yeah. What else?
Nice. I've still been watching Shogun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that did they release it all at once or is it weekly?
No, it's weekly. So I'm like trying to
pace yourself.
Trying to pace myself so I can like watch 2 in a row. Because 1 hour of it
it's not enough.
It's gone like that.
I want more.
Yeah.
I think I'll wait then. I think because I haven't started it. I think I'll
crack.
wait.
It's like crack.
It's like
I've heard about
super crack.
I've heard about crack's really good. You know you know where I can get it?
Still enjoying.
Joking.
Enjoying.
Loving Shogun.
Nice.
I watched another thing that I talked about earlier in the podcast. What was it? Like
Uncle something.
Uncle Peckerhead. Stupid name.
Yeah, that is dumb.
It's really good. It's just this old fella, and he happens to be like possessed by a demon for like an hour and a half every night. And it like eats people and shit. But he's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. It
eats people and shit, or just
it probably eats the shit too. Actually, I think maybe there's a joke about that in the movie. Very self-aware of what it's doing, but in a way that's not grating. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like outside of the podcast we've talked about it, and it might be on my list.
I think we have. Yeah, I would say it's worth a watch, man. It's worth a couple of good laughs for sure.
Nice. I'm still watching The Great. I think I'm almost finished with season 2. I do kind of wish they would move things along a little quicker. That'd probably be my only complaint, but it's just the performances are fucking awesome. Nicholas Hoult is just
Nicholas Holting about,
and yes, he is
doing what he does,
doing what he does.
Just kind of a weaselly.
he is,
yeah,
he is, man.
I haven't seen it.
You can tell
he is kind of a little weaselly fella.
You know.
I'm sure in person he's very lovely.
Oh, he's a lovely gentleman, I'm sure. I've been playing. What was that?
The fucking the Gangnam Style. Don't worry about it.
Oh, other than that, I don't think I've watched. I did watch almost all of Masterminds. Not that that's the first time we've done the show.
Yeah.
Or we've done the fucking movie on the show.
That's a good revisit. Anytime.
Just bored and feeling silly.
I look like Gene Shalit from the Today Show.
Fuck.
Fucking goddamn it, he's funny.
Look like Ric Flair's boy.
Yeah, you put some whole milk. Whole what?
You just put some whole milk in
I got
there.
some ranch. I put a little ranch dressing in there. It's fucking stupid.
So
man.
dumb. I love that it's based on a true story.
That's the best part. And then they just like, let's get the stupidest motherfuckers we can find to be in the movie.
Obviously most of it's like the main part of it is true, but then they just do a bunch of dumb shit.
It's just a comedy.
It's just,
And it's good comedy writing, I think.
Yeah.
All I ever really wanted was adventure.
So he fucking works in an armed car.
Fucking movie's so stupid.
The truck that he drives. I want that.
God, that
just
thing's
to park
badass.
just to park in on the street.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I'd put some fake
Just to
shit
piss
on
people
it too.
off.
Yeah, I put some fake shit on it, like cum bank. Just something where people will be like, "What the fuck?
What the fuck is wrong with you?" What else you been watching, Dan?
Let's see here. Well, let me tell you, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my shit and I'm going to look through recently watched.
There you go.
Because I'll be honest with you, I don't recall. Evidently, I watched Spaceman. Whatever that's about. I don't know anything about that.
Oh,
Here we go. I watched a little bit of House of Ninjas. I watched a whole documentary called The Program, which was quite revealing about troubled kids' schools or whatever, and the like insane abuse that goes on in those places. Let's see here. What else?
Spaceman is with Adam Sandler. Did you watch that?
I guess I put it on before I went to bed. I haven't seen it. But yeah, it says I watched it, so maybe it just came on. I don't know. Let's see here. Let me check my Hulu. Fuck, something went wrong and I'm logged out. God knows what I've been watching now.
That's cruel. That's cruel. Sorry.
It can be.
I don't know what I'm saying. Spaceman has Paul Dano in it. That's funny.
I think Paul Dano plays the spider.
It also has Carey Mulligan in it, who I just don't like as an actress.
Yeah, I know. I think it's interesting.
She's not. She doesn't do it for me. Carrie agrees.
Don't care for her?
I just don't think she's that good of an actress.
Fair enough, man. I'll be honest with you. I really only recall seeing her in two things, and I liked them. The Great Gatsby. I think she was all right in that. And
she was in Drive.
Promising Young Woman. She was in Drive, wasn't she?
Yep.
I forgot about that.
Promising Young Woman I do want to see.
It's good, but I mean, if you dislike Carey Mulligan, it might not be good.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I might check it out.
I suppose so. Good story. Real good story, I think. Fuck me, man. What else have I been watching?
I don't want to do that tonight.
What? Fuck me?
Mm-hmm. I don't. Well, can we skip this time?
Sometimes you have to pay the price.
I'd rather skip this time, if that's okay.
No, it's not.
We had quite a fun weekend. I know this doesn't really pertain to.
No, this can be what you're watching.
What you're watching, but
it'd be a cool convo.
We Dan came up and we went to the parade, the St. Patty's Day parade in Dogtown. Had some drinks, had some corned beef and cabbage.
Fuck yeah,
it was a fun time. And then that evening we went to see Alkaline Trio.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen Alkaline Trio? Do you know?
That might be 5.
It hasn't been that many for me. That's only my third time seeing them. Isn't that weird?
They were at my first concert.
You had a concert and they were there?
They were there, yeah. They opened for me. And now, next, presenting the Kathleen Turner Overdrive.
How the fuck did you get Alkaline Trio to come to Bonne Terre?
I just called him.
Paid him $50 and threw in a case of beer.
Yeah, they were fine. They were like, yeah, we'll come hang. They were going to be on the podcast, but I wasn't doing it yet. So,
So I saw them maybe like 2012 at Pops. I think you might have been there. Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, we were at the same show. Saw them not too long ago, maybe a couple years ago with Coheed and Cambria. That was a good fucking show. And then this was only my third time seeing them. So.
And then we saw him with fucking Drug Church. Hey, if you ever want to alienate people, fucking throw on some Drug Church at a function. You know what I mean?
No, we don't.
It's what? No, I mean, like, it might be your thing. We were listening to him, and I was like, it sounds like, I think you said you're like, it's like Poison the Well-ish, but.
His his screaming sounded like Poison the Well, which I don't, obviously I love Poison the Well.
No, yeah, I'm cool with that.
But when he was singing, it was not good, in my opinion.
It was like who else does that? POD.
It's like a.
POD would do that shit.
Talk sing thing. It just doesn't work. There are a lot of bands that do it.
It's a long talk thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. Wasn't for me.
That was great show from Alkaline Trio. They had a little bit of technical difficulties, but they worked around it.
Because they had a song about it.
Right.
Starting the show out with technical problems. It's fucking good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great show.
That's how you know you're a professional.
Right. Yeah, so the only difference I looked, because I was like writing down the songs as they were playing them, they started the set with Bleeder, which is an old fucking song.
Fucking A.
That was the only song that's not actually on the set list. So they were like, fuck, okay. We can't play, something was going on to where they couldn't play some new stuff in the beginning. So they had to kind of scramble the set list. They started with Bleeder, which I was like, that's fucking cool.
I will say they play, I think just 2 songs off their new album in that whole set.
Yeah, not a lot. 2 or 3 maybe.
But I'll be honest with you, that they played my favorite one.
Which one?
That Bad Time.
Yeah, so they played, so they played Blood, Hair, and Eyeballs. That's the name of the album.
Yeah.
Hot for Preacher.
Oh, yeah, they played 3 then.
Bad Time, and then Versions of You. So they played 4.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, didn't feel like that many.
Great set list though. They played a lot of stuff from Here to Infirmary.
I had a coworker friend of mine was there, and he was like, same thing, man. He's like, just solid set, like just peppered in enough of everything. Like I was surprised they played so much old stuff. I'm like, yeah, man, it's fucking dope, because I'm not a new fan.
Right.
Of Alkaline Trio. I think I got introduced to Alkaline Trio in like 2000.
I was gonna say it was probably like 2004 for me. So
it might have been 2000, 2001.
I've been listening.
It was when I had my license.
Yeah, I've been listening to these guys for 20 years, and you've been listening to them for more than that. I mean, that's awesome. They're just...
Or just a weird amount of years, you know? We could just be making stuff up. Nobody knows how long anything was.
Nobody knows.
It's not written down. It's just oral
there
history
are 2
at this
timelines.
Point. And that point is irrelevant. So you don't have to,
Danny,
you don't have to worry yourself.
There are 2 timelines. One
in which we're old.
One is before COVID. That's a timeline.
Oh, fuck.
And then the other is before marijuana was legal in whatever state you live in. Those are the only 2 timelines that exist. Did you know that?
Wait, say it again? There's the before COVID timeline, and what's the other one? Weed still illegal?
No.
I think everything would still be kind of the same. There just wouldn't be dispensaries. Everything would be the same. My dad's like, can't tell who's high at work anymore now. I'm like, what do you mean? You'd never have been able to tell, is the point. You don't know.
You don't know.
If they don't smell like it, they can't be high, right?
Oh,
they're just dumb or whatever.
Love my gummies. All right.
You know what I always say? Gum up or shut up.
I got some recent music to talk about, unless you got other what you watching.
I've been playing God of War.
Fuck yeah, you have.
Yeah, I have. I've only played like 3 hours of it, but I'm looking forward to playing more of it.
You should.
The controls are a big switch from Spider-Man 2.
Of course they are.
Totally different combat
It's
style.
a harder game in general.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Spider-Man 2 was pretty hard, and that's one thing that I did appreciate about it. 2 was pretty...
I did appreciate it was more challenging.
It was more challenging than 1, for sure.
Because I just went for amazing. Like, I haven't played a Spider-Man game since Miles Morales came out.
What is that the easiest? Or no?
No, I think it's just like normal. Like, yeah, I've played these before. Just give it to me straight up.
Yeah.
But a lot of things I'll like, because I don't have a ton of video game time. So I want to
play on easy. Who
I want to
fucking
progress.
cares, man?
I play on easy all the time.
If there's an option to play on easy and someone judges you for that, I think that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit.
For real.
Because I can put it on hard or fucking stupid mode. Or
and
like,
how long is it going to take you?
It's
a year?
just going to take me forever, dude. That's
Yeah.
it. That's the only difference. It's going to take me longer. But I don't have that time. So
I love it.
I have known the touch of a woman. So fucking lay off me. I got other shit to do, all right? I'm an adult.
I haven't been playing a ton of video games, honestly. I'm just kind of waiting for something fucking cool to come out.
I will do this on my What You Watching. I haven't taken vacation in a long time. Like I'll take a day off because I have something else to do. But I took vacation, and on Friday we went to the rally in the 100-acre woods in Washington County, Missouri. That was a lot of fun. Just go out, get drunk in the woods, and watch cars drive real fast down gravel roads, like irresponsible speeds.
It's so funny that that's a thing that exists where we were.
And they don't give up. You're just out there, and they're like, get behind a fucking tree. They'll be like, hey, seriously, you cannot fucking stand here.
Because it slings fucking rocks and shit. Like,
people have died out there, too. Like, you have to take, like, protective eyewear and shit, and you need to find a fucking thick-ass tree to stand behind.
Yeah.
Because if push comes to shove, that car will fucking kill you.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're doing 70 miles an hour sometimes.
On a dirt road.
On a dirt road, yeah. That's fucking crazy.
Well,
taking a corner.
Gravel or whatever you want to call it.
No, it's cool though, man. It's way more fun than I ever would have thought it would have been. But I've been 3 years in a row now, and I love it. They do a second day in Salem, but I'm not fucking going to Salem
Fuck
for that.
that.
If I'm going to Salem, I'm not coming back for 48 hours. That's the
right.
It's almost. It feels like driving to Memphis, but with less shit to do. It's not. I know it's not that far. It's like an hour and 40 minutes, maybe.
Fuck. Salem, Missouri.
It feels forever. The fucking roads are terrible out there. Well, to get there, I don't know how the roads are in Salem.
It's like an hour and a half from here.
There's
so
nothing to do.
It would be closer. From Potosi, it would be closer. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway. After that, the next day, my old lady and I we went to a lovely restaurant, went and checked into our hotel right next to the venue where we went to the concert together.
Yeah.
We went out and had some drinks with her brother and his old lady. We went to a barcade that was fucking sweet.
Oh, Up Down's awesome.
Yeah. I've never been there.
Did you get the pizza? Did you get any pizza?
No, we didn't eat anything there. We ate
Pizza's pretty good.
We ate like 2 hours before we got there, so we just went there for a while, and then we decided to run through the gramophone, which is probably the best.
They named a sandwich after you. Did you know that?
They named a sandwich after me. Yeah, if you're close to the gramophone in St. Louis, Missouri, you can go in there and get yourself a Danimal.
And if you want to have a sandwich at fucking 2 a.m., they're there.
They're open.
They're open, baby.
They're there for you,
and they have amazing sandwiches.
They will bring you into their warm, loving arms are like fresh baked bread.
And you can have a beer. Actually, I don't know what time they stop alcohol.
Probably regular time.
It might be until 3.
But you can also go there and just like get smashed and play pinball and shit.
Yeah.
And have like one of the best sandwiches you've ever had in your life.
So good.
So that was fucking delicious. And then we went to our hotel, had a rooftop bar and shit, and we hung out there. And then the next day we went to the parade and concert, and it was the nicest, most like stress-free fun I have had on a vacation in a decade. With ease.
Yeah.
And I very much liked it.
Yeah, the concert was great because you guys, and I don't think we said thank you for like holding us a seat, but you guys found this table, which it seemed new because like the pageant, the way I thought of it was
a pretty
like,
nice spot, huh?
Yeah, the way I thought of it was like all those outside areas, there were some seats, but then it was just kind of like the pit, a big pit.
Yeah, they've smallened the pit.
I think so. And you guys got us a seat, and that was really relaxing to just like have some space and watch a concert.
Have some elbow room.
That's not usually a thing.
And have a stranger breathing right in your face. Yeah,
so that was nice.
Dude, it was super nice. It was like literally the most I get very like like if I go to a concert, I can't drive. I can't, because by the time that I've left, I'll have like 14 beers in me.
Just because you're
not because I'm having the time of my life, but because I'm trying not to vomit.
You're trying to calm yourself down.
Yeah.
And just be like, this is too much. This is like sensory overload.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We went to go see Chan one time, and I just took a Xanax and had like 2 beers, and that was fine. But fuck, man, I can't do it, dude. Like those all standing room venues, especially when it's a packed show, it fucking freaks me out.
Ready Room was tough because I liked Ready Room, but it was such a weird setup because you'd walk in and you were walking into the bar, but there was a line, so it's like awkward.
You're walking straight into a line.
You're walking straight, and it's like, oh, sorry. And then just where the bathrooms were, there was like this little bitty line, like opening. There was just one opening, and it snaked around.
You had to kind of worm your way in there.
It was so weird. You're like, oh god.
Sounded good though.
It did sound good.
It did sound good. Yeah. I think that's all I got. You said you had some music stuff you want to talk about. What else you got going on?
I've just been listening to a few things a lot lately. Oh, there's an album by this band called Aviations called The Light Years. It is the instrumental version. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good.
I fuck with that.
Like metal, instrumental metal, I guess.
I definitely fuck with that. You send that to me?
I think I did. We talked about it recently. How dare you?
Did? Oh, look, I might have, but also you might have sent it to me and I was fucking bombed.
A band called Parachute Day, another instrumental group, kind of like math rock.
Oh, it's like the best day at elementary school.
Parachute Day?
Yeah.
They have a album called Moral Support that's pretty good.
What was that other band called?
Aviations.
Yeah, it's under my recently searched and following.
Fuck yeah, because I told you about it.
You
bitch.
did. What's the best album, bitch?
The Light Years.
Okay,
the one that's instrumental. Because I'm just not a big fan of their vocalist. Other than that,
I wish every band would just do an instrumental album.
Right,
I would listen to way more stuff.
Like Periphery's first album, they did an instrumental.
Dude, that fucking first Periphery album is fucking nuts.
Yep. And then Standards has a I think they're coming out with a new album, but I've been listening to a lot of Fruit Town. One of their albums called Fruit Town.
Fruit Town, okay.
Yeah, it's just very math rock instrumental again.
I like fruit.
There's a theme here.
Yeah.
This band, Death Dance, they do have a vocalist. I like him a lot. I think I showed you them. Maybe
I'm gonna say yes.
They have an album called Blue Light Mass. Great stuff.
Okay.
And they're also writing new music. I'll stop there because I could just keep going on.
I never pay attention to any of this shit that you're saying, but when I go back and edit the episode, I like whip out my phone and I'm like, make sure I got every one of these. Like I like put on a song or two and be like I stop editing. It's part of why editing takes me fucking 5 hours. And because I suck at it.
God, you're terrible.
I know. Fucking.
Get better. Get good.
Look, man, if you ain't puffed, you ain't doing enough.
You guys aren't going to start sucking each other's dicks, are you?
Let's call that phone call for a one-eyed Batman.
Can I make a suggestion that doesn't involve violence? Or is this the wrong crowd?
Maybe we should call in a bomb threat to Houston. I think it's free beer night at the Astrodome.
The Jedi, Bob. We don't fight with guns, we fight with our mind.
Doesn't businesses are booming.
That is one big pile of shit.
Jog on.
It's Just Two Movies is a production of Blue Cheese and Bacon Studios and can be found wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, special thanks for the people who helped make this show. That is going to be Russ, Tafari, God-Sized and Growing, and SUNDS for our music, Lamplighter Productions for our artwork. Oh, yeah, I definitely want to throw out a thanks to Dave, who takes care of our YouTube platform, and Justin, who has started doing our TikTok. You can find us on TikTok at Just Two Movies Pod. Yeah, so hit us up on socials and tell your friends and leave us a like if you could. That's the show. On a very extra dehydrated episode.
I'll have to say that. I like that. Extra,
yeah.
Extra dehydrated. Dry in one way and really wet in another.
Yeah. Yeah.